Caitlin Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA.
Man, the WNBA is probably kicking themselves right now. And honestly, it's kind of wild to watch. The LPGA just totally stepped up and showed everyone exactly how to treat a star like Caitlin Clark. This whole situation, it's not her fault people are getting upset.
It is no fault of hers that I got upset. It is the fault of the WNBA because the LPGA just did everything that the WNBA should have been doing this season. They did it all correct in literally one day.
Seriously, the LPGA rolled out the red carpet for Clark. They gave her all the respect and attention she deserved. Meanwhile, the WNBA is probably just sitting there, biting their nails, wondering how they messed this up so badly.
Now, from this event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlin Clark and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that. And those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA season.
It's crazy, right? Doesn't matter if she's sinking putts or draining threes, her fans absolutely can't get enough of her. After she totally lit up that golf event recently, her fans practically blew up social media demanding a TV special just to watch her swing a club.
Originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event?
So the LPGA saw that electric buzz, that star power, and they made an offer Caitlin couldn't say no to. But here's the thing, Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA, they're basically stuck eating humble pie now. They totally mishandled their biggest star, and honestly, they let her shine somewhere else.
So the LPGA event is expanding its pro-am coverage around Caitlin Clark's participation. Golf Channel's Golf Today will begin 90 minutes early on Wednesday and include live look-ins. It has also been said that you will get to see Caitlin Clark's warm-up.
And get this, the LPGA, they're clearly marketing geniuses. They just totally jumped on this chance, bringing in Clark, this unstoppable force in women's basketball, for a golf event. It was like they found some secret marketing weapon nobody even knew existed. This whole situation just blew up into a goldmine, way bigger than even the most optimistic event planners could have dreamed of.
The LPGA tour had Caitlin Clark play, and the LPGA, fans, well, the event was taken over by the ominous crowd that made sure to go get angry at everything Caitlin Clark did.
What's crazy is, this is where it really gets interesting. Before the event, there wasn't even a whisper about broadcasting Caitlin's golf appearance on TV. But then Clark's army of fans hit social media, and they started demanding that every single one of her swings be shown. The LPGA? Not dumb. They listened, made a last-minute call that changed everything, and rushed to get it on air. And you know what? Their crazy gamble paid off beyond belief. That golf event went from being just a quiet day on the greens to a must-see, headline-grabbing sensation.
So there are photos of Caitlin and Nelly literally everywhere, and the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlin. So if they put their number one golfer, who is currently leading the sport and pushing the sport ahead, if they put her next to Caitlin for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly and it's great for everyone else.
So let's talk about how one basketball player basically stole the show from every other women's sport just by walking onto a golf course. Thanks to Clark's magic touch, her performance was so captivating, it literally thrust the LPGA into a spotlight usually reserved for way bigger sports. Her golf swing, combined with that incredible charisma, it drew in everyone. From die-hard basketball fans to casual viewers, the buzz was so strong, you could practically feel it vibrating through your phone screen.
The LPGA, you can see when it came to them that they were happy that Caitlin Clark was there. They knew exactly the value that Caitlin Clark brought.
Now, if you thought Caitlin and Nelly Korda together was just some lucky accident, think again. That was a brilliant, strategic matchup right there. The LPGA knew exactly what they were doing. Pairing her with the world's best golfer was a total marketing playbook move. And honestly, pictures of them together were so popular, you couldn't scroll for more than a second without seeing Caitlin and Nelly's faces all over Instagram and Twitter.
That there was so much buzz online, she was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event.
What's really wild is how this moment came together. The LPGA pulled off the ultimate power play by bringing in Caitlyn. They drew in Clark's massive basketball fan base and cast a brighter light on the whole sport. People who'd normally never watch golf were suddenly hooked to their screens. The LPGA showed everyone that with the right strategy, you can totally captivate a brand new audience and spark their interest.
Through the whole event, they saw how important it was that new fans were getting involved in golf, especially women's golf.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. The LPGA wasn't just, riding Caitlyn's wave. They completely transformed it into a full-on masterclass in sports marketing. They weren't worried about overshadowing anyone or playing it safe. Instead, they just totally embraced Clark's star power. In a world where women's sports are always fighting for recognition, the LPGA just delivered a clinic on how to do it right, and it paid off unbelievably well.
She said what she has done for women's sports and basketball, and to have her at our golf tournament, I'm like in awe. I've got a basketball and hoping she signs it for my girls. But how cool for her to come out and support us this week and only help grow women's golf.
The LPGA's social media game during Caitlyn Clark's golf debut, it was a full-on party, like when a rock star just randomly shows up at your backyard barbecue, On September 19th, 2025, the LPGA basically blew up the internet. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, they were all buzzing. We're talking a flood of photos with Caitlyn and Nelly Korda just grinning ear to ear. Videos of Clark's golf swing that would probably make Tiger Woods do a double take. And clips of her signing autographs like she was the main event at some sports fans' dream festival.
WNBA, when it came to Caitlyn Clark, it was a lot of we don't need you, and we were good before, and we don't like your fans, and
let me tell you, social media activity just absolutely skyrocketed. Her loyal followers devoured it. Videos of Clark's swing got millions of views faster than you could even blink. At one point, Twitter was just overflowing with tweets about her, and this hashtag, celebrity scandal, was actually circulating about Clark's golf debut. The LPGA totally knew how to play their marketing cards. People who'd never even thought about watching golf were suddenly glued to their screens. Plus, these social media posts weren't just attracting attention. They were stealing it, even overshadowing some of the biggest men's sports stories that day. Now that's a marketing masterclass.
From this event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlyn Clark, and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that. And those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA season.
And now, let's bring in the WNBA. The league that basically seemed to take a digital vacation during this whole spectacle. While the LPGA was totally soaking up all the hype and practically swimming in engagement metrics, the WNBA was completely silent. Not a single tweet or story about Caitlyn Clark, even when she was bringing in a tidal wave of new fans to women's sports. This wasn't just a marketing blunder. Seriously. It felt like a massive slap in the face to every diehard WNBA fan who's been rooting for her through everything.
They did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them, because Caitlyn Clark is more popular than ever.
The thing is, Caitlyn Clark isn't just some flash-in-the-pan athlete, Since her freshman year at Iowa in 2025, she's been a scoring machine, averaging almost 28 points per game, and she leaves fans speechless with every single highlight. You'd think the WNBA would be all over her, right? Especially when she became the first player in NCAA history to drop a 40-point, 0-assist, triple-double in a tournament game back on March 26. But nope, even when ESPN was rolling out the red carpet for her, the WNBA's response was barely a whisper. Fans were furious. They were lighting up social media, begging the league to promote her. But apparently the WNBA just had better things to do.
But the WNBA posted nothing. Zero. Posted zero about Caitlin Clark golfing in this Pro-Am event.
So, for a while now, critics have been guessing that the WNBA's hesitation to really hype up Clark comes from this weird fear. They think focusing too much on one player might, upset the league's existing stars. But come on, that's a totally nonsensical approach in today's sports world, where star power is absolutely everything. Look, the NBA built its entire empire by integrating superstars like LeBron James and Steph Curry into the cultural conversation. Meanwhile, the WNBA's super conservative approach just feels like it's from a totally different era.
And this was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever and they'll be in the comments or they'll just say something, something cute. This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about this.
Everyone knows the WNBA is honestly hurting itself by just ignoring Clark's impact. Caitlin Clark is so much more than just a player. She's a walking, talking, shooting brand, with over 750,000 social media followers and a fan base that could breathe new life into any sports league. But the WNBA acts like promoting her would trigger some kind of doomsday scenario. It's totally hurting the league and could even impact future stars, like Paige Bueckers, who will join soon. If the league can't figure out how to leverage someone as game-changing as Clark, then what hope is there for the next generation, you know?
If you look at the LPGA Twitter account, it is filled with Caitlin Clark things. Photos of her, a whole video of the fans cheering her, signing things, taking photos, their players hanging out with Caitlin, and obviously they're showing their golfers as well.
Even sports analysts are totally fed up with this. Back in June 2025, John Hollinger from The Athletic put out this damning piece, really ripping the WNBA for not capitalizing on the Caitlin Clark effect. He pointed out the league's stagnant viewership and highlighted how the LPGA was absolutely crushing them in the marketing game. Hollinger said that athletes are starting to notice that what might have worked 10 years ago is just completely out of touch now. Then, in an interview with Sports Illustrated on July 14, 2025, two-time MVP and league legend Breanna Stewart didn't hold back. She really hammered home the need to market the league's top. She didn't say Caitlin by name, but let's be real. The message was loud and clear. Stewart knows visibility is key, and people are just tired of complaining on places like Reddit. There was even a post asking why the WNBA doesn't support Caitlin Clark that got over 10,000 upvotes, sparking a huge debate about the league's puzzling decisions.
This was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever and they'll be in the comments or they'll just say something, something cute. This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about this.
Honestly, the way the LPGA handled Clark, it just perfectly shows what happens when a league really gets its act together. They didn't just welcome her, they put on a whole show. But here's the kicker. While fans and analysts are practically begging for change, the WNBA is still stuck in its own little world, just fiercely clinging to these totally outdated marketing techniques. If they don't wake up soon, they're going to keep missing out on huge chances, and no amount of hindsight will ever fix that.